episode, I talk with the super talented actor, producer, Ethan Embry. You may know him from The Devil's Candy, The Walking Dead, Masters of Horror, and so much more. I had a killer time talking with Ethan, and I hope you dig this episode. After you're done with this episode, make sure you check out my fellow horsemen of the podcast apocalypse, Everything Went Black podcast, Into the Necrosphere, the Necromaniacs podcast, Break the Apocalypse, Eyeless Manifestations, and the Soul Knocks podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and I really hope you dig this episode, especially if you're a 90s kid. I think you're really going to dig this one, so thanks so much, and take care.
Where are you? Where are you located?
I am all the way in South Carolina.
Oh, nice. Oh, we're neighbors.
Where are you located at then?
I live in Atlanta. I'm in Los Angeles right now, visiting family and all that. But I'm a Georgia boy currently.
That's cool. Were you born there, or like?
No, I mean, so when can I actually call myself a Georgia boy? Because I've been living there now 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Atlanta, which isn't really Georgia. So, yeah, I'm getting the hang of it.
That's cool.
I like the changes.
That's good.
I grew up in Los Angeles, born and raised here. And, I've traveled around a lot for work, but I've never lived in another city.
Right.
So Atlanta's the first time I've picked up camp and changed the home, but I really like it, man. That's
cool, man. I've been in the South all my life, so only thing I don't like about living down in the South is the weather. The humidity sucks, and you never really get used to it.
Yeah, you're not gonna. You kind of just gotta accept it, Yeah,
dude, and it sucks for dudes with long hair, man. My hair is like past my butt, and I work outside. I'm a landscaper on my day job or whatever and stuff, and dude, that humidity is a beast.
It is. The first time I realized how serious it was, I went outside to do a little yard work also at like 1 o'clock. It was about 90 degrees, and 20 minutes into it, I started getting so dizzy from the heat,
Mm-hmm.
So I learned very quickly how much water you have to put into your system to be able to sustain being outdoors in the South in the summer.
Yeah, that's a ton of water, man. I drink about 2 gallons a day, probably, roughly, especially in the summertime.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're losing it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you hit record yet?
Yeah, I'm recording, but I edit and all that stuff too. So
always press record.
Yeah. One time I was like 30 minutes into an interview and I forgot to press record, and we had to fucking go back and do it over again. I felt like shit. I was like, oh man.
I prefer the start recording at the top myself.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while now.
Where in South Carolina are you?
I'm out of the Charleston area of South Carolina.
Charleston, sweet, cool. I was just up in Charlotte, which I guess is right there on the border of the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it, man. Charlotte itself is a really boring city. Unless I just didn't find where the action of Charlotte is, it's a little too tame for my blood.
Mm-hmm.
But the surrounding communities, I had 2 weekends off up there, and I went and tooled around the surrounding little small towns, like with like built on a train station. They either were rebuilt right after the Civil War, or they had been there prior to it.
Mm-hmm.
Old Americana. And that I really loved. And it's funny, you see the difference between those little communities and the ones in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so close to each other. You know, it's right there. But there's cultural differences still. It's really interesting the way the South is like that.
Oh yeah, there definitely is a difference between like Charlotte, Georgia, even in Charleston and stuff. There's a big difference, and with Charlotte, man, like Charlotte is kind of dull, I guess. I
It
played there a
is.
few times in my back when I was doing my band stuff and everything, and it's not a very metal town, I guess. Charlotte's
No,
just kind of like,
there's no edge.
no.
It has the edge of a fucking cue ball. It's very homogenized. And man, if you like that, if you're looking for a really easy, mellow city, it's probably great for you if you got a corporate job and a couple of kids. Awesome. But that's one of the things I love about Atlanta is, Los Angeles lost its edge 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up here in the 90s, it was a wild place to live,
Right.
And it's become so expensive now that it doesn't really have an edge. There's a problem with poverty and people that are unhoused, but that's not an edge. That's just that's an economic issue of the city.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to make $1 million a year to be able to support yourself here, and it's kind of chased a lot of the artists, creatives, and chased a lot of people out of the city. But Atlanta has an edge still. It feels like a city, and I really liked living there.
You'll get a lot of good bands through Atlanta too, like a lot of good shows down there, especially like the Masquerade and everything.
Yep, great place to see a show. We just we went to Shaky Knees, which is a killer festival. That was a lot of fun. And then we saw Failure. They came through. Do you ever get into Failure?
Not, I know the name and stuff, but no, I haven't really got into them.
They're an LA band from the 90s. Had like moderate success with their first 2 or 3 albums, and they broke up and went their separate ways. And the bass player, I think, Ken Andrews, became an engineer for, like, he engineered on Tool albums and Perfect Circle albums, and like, created the sound of a lot of bands that we all love now. But they recently got back together and wrote another 2 albums. Highly recommend them.
Okay, I'm gonna add that to my list because like I said, I know the name, especially from like back in the day and stuff. I can't recall any music from the top of my head. So
one of their songs may like God, what was their biggest album? My mind is drawing a blank at the moment. The one with the frog on it. You may know some of those songs just out of recognition, but yeah, they just came through Atlanta. You're right. Good music comes through Atlanta. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we went to one of the last shows they had at the old Masquerade because they had like right now the Masquerade that's there is like the new Masquerade, different building and stuff, and the one before that was like every fucking band came through there. Like I got to see Neurosis play with Wake, and I think Primate was playing too on that show. But it was like one of the best fucking shows I've ever been to. Seeing Neurosis that up close and personal at the Masquerade, fucking amazing.
The heavy stuff seems to go like the underground. There's that little complex of stages in downtown. I think that's the name of it, the Underground.
I'm not sure.
It's like a little collection. There's like 4 stages. We just went and saw Guar play.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And and they have quite a few of the heavier flavors that come through that spot. I mean, I think that is the Masquerade, right?
It should be, because the
I
Masquerade
think
gets all
that
the
is
big
the
heavy
Masquerade.
shows. It probably
Yeah,
is, yeah.
that is the Masquerade. That is. I'm confusing in my mind the Masquerade and the Tabernacle.
Oh, okay.
Tabernacle is that old theater, also downtown. We just saw Metric, which is female fronted, I think Canadian. And I also think they started in the 90s too. I think they've been together for multiple decades, but they just played. That's the Tabernacle. Masquerade is the one it's an old mall in the middle of Atlanta called the Underground. And it's either 3 or 4 stages that they have. And that's where I saw Failure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have all the great music all around you, man. I think Tool's about to be going tour again. I'm pretty sure they're going to be going through Atlanta. So
Have to get my black boots out and go to a Tool show. I haven't seen them in at least 10 years.
yeah.
I've probably seen them live more than any other band. Like a tie between them and the Deftones.
Oh man, dude, I love the Deftones. Also love Tool. Deftones hold like a special place in my heart. I got into them when I was like a freshman in high school and stuff, man. And it just got me at the right time. And like White Pony came out, and I was like, holy shit, man. Yeah.
Yep. How old are you?
I'm about to be 38 next week.
So I've got 7 years on you. So my intro to the Deftones was the Round the Fur. That kick pattern at the front of that, I hear that and I'm immediately 16 again, you know?
That's what I love about the Deftones, man. When I put on White Pony and stuff, dude, it just takes me back, and it still holds up so well today. Like,
oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And their new shit's fantastic too. I can't remember the name of it, but the one with the seagulls or the pink flamingos or whatever it is on the cover.
Oh yeah, I'm about to look it up now on Spotify. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, their new stuff definitely holds up.
Yeah, it's great.
Their newest one was I'm trying to find it here. It was Ohms, I think, was their newest one. It was the ones. It was the one with the eyes on the cover. The one before that had the flamingos, and that was called Gore.
Gore, yeah. The great, like, when a band can still hold their recognizable sound, the thing that draws you to them to begin with, but bring a new flavor of a new album into it, so it's still recognizable. It still has the core elements that make them their sound, but then bring in new material, bring in new hooks, bring in new beats, new lyrics, new drops. So it's like a whole new ride in the familiarity of that band. Like, they're one of those that has consistently done that so well. Failure does that too. That's one of the things I love about Failure. It's familiar and new at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I definitely get that. Being that I'm not familiar with Failure yet, but I will be after this episode. Definitely gonna check them out. But yeah, with Deftones, man, like, I don't think there's a bad album. I mean, there's some albums I don't like less than other ones, but overall, they don't really put out bad albums, you know?
They really don't. Even when they went a little experimental with the, it's the one it's like, I close my eyes and I could picture the blue and the red and there's a skull. And they relied a little more on electronic beats. And
that was their self-titled one. That I think it was a self-titled Deftones. That's the one that had Minerva on it, I believe.
Yeah, it's got Minerva on it. So
Yeah,
it's like, it's totally different. They're kind of making a departure, but it's got fucking Minerva on it. Like, what album with Minerva on it is not going to be incredible? Yeah.
I remember seeing a video from them on MTV back in the day when they played music videos. This is the one when they're all in the desert, just fucking playing their instruments and shit, and it's dark, and there's this fucking, it's just them in the desert, but it's so fucking good.
Yep. Yep.
That was back in the
Yeah.
day.
What do you play?
I'm a guitar player and I also do vocals, but the vocals I do are harsh, like nasty stuff, you know. So I wouldn't consider them like singing or anything like that. But
Yeah, you're a vocalist.
yeah,
Not everybody can do that for 45 minutes.
oh, you're right, dude. It's especially when you're out on tour and stuff, man. Like trying not to lose your voice when you do those type of vocals. Takes practice, you know.
How much do you rely on the power of the microphone? Like, that's what
It
I always
matters.
wonder.
It matters, man. Like you want to have a good microphone that picks up shit well. You know, I used a condenser mic for vocals and stuff because I got more punch out of those. You know, especially for like I do a lot of the higher end kind of like screaming type shit, like kind of black metal-y type stuff. You know, when that one really picked it up really well, where I didn't have to strain my voice too bad.
Right. You're not having to project too much. You're able to rely on the volume of the system and the sensitivity of the mic.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're competing with the level of the drums, but
Yeah.
like what human voice can do that for an hour every other night, you know?
Yeah,
None.
you definitely have to have a good mic, man. That you know, because that's your instrument, especially if you're just a vocalist only, man. You better have a fucking decent mic.
Yep.
You're
I've never been
you
great
play
at
everything,
vocals.
don't you?
I play guitar. I mean, I can play a bass. I would not call myself a bassist because when I pick up a bass, I play guitar progressions. I can't. I've never been able to pick up a bass and write a bass line and go like, oh, that's a bass line. They sound like guitar, like very fast guitar progressions, you know. So I would say I'm a guitarist, really. Guitar is definitely my instrument. Out of respect for bass players, I will not say that I'm a bassist.
How long have you been playing?
I started first instrument was a bass that I think I got when I was 14, maybe. And then I got a drum kit, and I'm not a drummer either. I would never call myself a drummer. And I think I got my first guitar when I was 16. And I'll go through periods where I don't play. And then I'll go through periods where I'm playing numerous hours a day. I'm unfortunately in one of the don't play periods.
Right.
It's been about a year. And I love it. It's just when I start doing it, it is all consuming, you know?
Yeah. Right. I totally get that. I think I started off at the same age you did, around 16 or so. 15 or 16 is when I started playing guitar. So.
What are you, lead or rhythm? What do you play?
I'm more of a, like, in the band situation, I did a little, like, leads weren't really a thing. Like, I was mostly rhythm and stuff because we were like a doom sludgy type band, so we didn't do a bunch of crazy leads. It's all this fucking, like, heavy rhythm, so I'm more of a rhythm guy.
Great. That's where I would lean myself, too. Like, I don't play... I've played a few solos. I've written a few solos. I can't jam out a solo, but I fall into a more very musical lead, I think, you know. Johnny Greenwood, the Radiohead guy, has been a lot of my inspiration lately. Like, I've been really fucking addicted to pedals.
Oh, dude, I got a ton of fucking pedals.
So addicting.
Yeah.
I fell into the hole of the... Have you ever messed with the Eventide H9?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
Dude. So it's like, you know, fractals, you know?
Yeah.
fractals, it's all the sounds, and you can make any combination of things, and you can build out your pedal chain.
Right.
H9 has all the capabilities that fractal has, but each pedal does one thing at once. So it's the master computer, and you can control it via app and all that. But like, if you want fuzz, tremolo, delay, reverb, cab, preamp, you've got to get one to do each sound. So I found 3 of them is the master. Like, that gives me all that I need. It is 3 of those, a fuzz, like a standalone fuzz. And it's just, those fucking things are insane. They're insane.
Yeah.
Just black holes where you're sitting there, and I have that Strymon. It's their cabinet simulator. So I go in mono with my guitar, and then stereo out to the H9s, and just sitting there in between my amps, and it's just ridiculous. It's so much fun.
It's so meditative too, man. We're just sitting there fucking, just building walls of sound,
Yeah.
That's such a good feeling.
It sure is. It really is. It's exactly what it is. It's meditative. And I should get back into it, because I could use some meditation. Things have been intense lately.
Sorry to hear that. Hopefully it winds down. My year's been fucking intense as well, man. A lot of fucked up shits went on this year, but hopefully, starts to wind back out a little bit, but.
Why does it seem like that happens with more frequency as we age?
I don't know, man, because like when we're younger, it feels like we're invincible and everything around us is invincible. But, as we get older, we find out shit is not invincible, and we don't live forever,
And maybe our responsibilities increase?
Yeah, definitely
when we're
that.
young, like, what are we responsible for other than keeping ourselves alive? And then as we age, I don't know about you, but I got kids, I'm married, and, financial responsibilities. So everything seems to have more impact.
Yeah, I'm married, but we have 2 cats, no kids, but still, you can still feel that,
Yeah, I mean, you're married. That's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, when we're younger, man, it's just like, I miss those days sometimes. Like, the nostalgia gets to me. Like when I hit you up a couple weeks ago on Twitter, whenever that was, I was watching Freaky Links, man, like the old episodes. Like, holy shit, Ethan Embry, man, and like it just took me back to being like, I think I was like 15 when that came out, or 16. I'm just like, dude,
where the hell did you find Freaky Links?
It was on YouTube.
Amazing.
Yeah.
God bless YouTube.
On YouTube, man, and because I like to do that. I like to take myself back to the 90s, early 2000s sometimes. So I just like dedicate a whole night of like movie watching, TV watching to whatever decade, 90s, early 2000s. And I don't know, it does something to you,
It does. Yeah, it does, man. I got it's new, but it's the greatest representation that I know of those time periods. Mine starts a little bit younger, because again, I got a few years on you. So mine goes back, the nostalgia goes back to the late 80s, but there's this movie and series collection called This Is England. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. I don't think so. It does sound kind of familiar, sort of, but I've never seen it. So
it's a story that takes place in working class England in the late 80s. And it's a story about a young kid. He's like 10 years old, and he's just lost his father in the Falkland War. And so he's living alone with his mother, and he's angry and, working class. And he meets these skinheads. And the first skinheads he meets are the Clash version of skinheads. They're the pro-union labor, non-racist, like ska skinheads,
Right.
And when I was a kid, that was big, like the difference between, neo-Nazi skinheads and non-racist skinheads. So
Right.
he meets this group of non-racist skinheads, and they take him in, and they shave his head, and they buy him Doc Martens, and they take him out to concerts, and then he meets the group of the racist skins,
Mm-hmm.
And so the movie is about the battle of these two groups fighting over this young kid. Like, which one is he going to give his loyalty to?
Mm-hmm.
Such a good movie. And then the director also produced two or three seasons of a TV show where it picks up 5 years, 10 years later.
Okay.
So he does 1986, 1990, and I think there's three. There's another one that's 90. I think there's 3 seasons. And it's all the same cast, and it just jumps to where they would be next and follows the cultural environment, the music environment,
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking hysterical. It's so good, so real. There's elements of it that are absolutely terrifying also, because it doesn't flinch with things that it deals with, like sexual assault, race beating, things like that. It does not flinch.
Right.
And oh God, it's so good.
Okay, I'll add that to my list of things I've never delved into, so it sounds cool to me. So.
Yeah, you can. And the shows, I found the show seasons on YouTube also.
Cool.
I think one season is up on Amazon. I know the movie's on Amazon, and then you can hunt down the seasons, I think, on YouTube to watch those. They're so good, so good.
Thank you for YouTube.
Yeah, I know, seriously. What's your favorite all-time horror movie?
Favorite all-time horror movie? Well, as of the past few years now, I'm gonna have to go with Mandy.
Mandy's pretty great.
Yeah.
Mandy's a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah, it spoiled me, man. Like, I can't get that same feeling from any other film since Mandy. You know what I mean? That kind of hits me like everywhere like that. So it's like, fuck, kind of ruined me.
I'm looking forward to his next, the vampire one that he's got. That's either just come out or it's about to come out. Whatever one that one's called.
You're talking about Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Renfield.
Is that out yet?
It is. It just came out. It's out. It was already out on theaters, and it just came to Peacock. I think this week. So it's on Peacock if you have that.
All right. I got to see it. Have you seen it yet?
I have. I watched it. I liked it. I didn't love it. You know what I mean? I think
it didn't hit you like Mandy.
Oh hell no, definitely not. I just wished it had more like Dracula time in this one, being that know it doesn't. I don't want to give anything else away, but it needs more Dracula time.
Gotcha. Yeah. And he's Dracula, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Nick Cage is Dracula in this, and his role is fucking cool, man. I want more of him. It's like it's not really. Yeah, you'll see when you watch it and stuff, man. You might get the same feeling. That's what I was really disappointed about. Not a bad movie, but it's not going to make my top of the year list or anything like that.
What's that one? Was it called Were Cop, where it's like Henry Rollins is a werewolf and a cop? Or am I combining two different movies in my head?
I think you're combining Wolf Cop with that other movie that Henry Rollins was in when he's like a avenging demon or something. I can't remember the name right now, but so it was really cool.
I'm combining two different movies. I'm thinking of the Henry Rollins movie that I liked a lot
I'm
with
looking it up
Were
right
Cop.
now.
Were Cop has got nothing to do with that, does it?
No, but that'd be an interesting crossover. Yeah, the one that Henry Rollins was in was called He Never Died.
That's it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That one I found was a lot of fun.
What's your all-time favorite horror movie?
I would probably throw down on 28 Days Later.
Oh, that's a good choice, man. That's one of my favorite zombie movies because it's so fucking different than any other zombie movie, you know?
It's so real. Zombies are fast. The cinematography and the way they shot it is just brilliant. Cillian Murphy is fucking amazing in it. That's one of them. And then another Danny Boyle that's definitely in the top 20 is fuck, what's the name of it? It's with Ewan McGregor about the roommates. Let me see if I can leave Skype and Google. Hold on. I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Usually, I always
Yeah,
got
you're
my
still
phone
there.
available. Yeah.
Danny Boyle. Let's see, movies. Shallow Grave.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
It's it's borderline not really a horror movie, but it gets really tense. It's more of like a comedy thriller, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But top horror, 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
And then I really like the I like thrillers that deal with human horror, like the horror of humanity,
Mm-hmm.
like Marathon Man.
It's a good one.
Tense as fuck. We Are the Monster, or like Requiem for a Dream.
Oh man, that one's horrifying. I saw I was on a date with this girl in high school, and we ended up watching that movie with her mom.
Oof,
Yeah. Then
oof.
she ended up falling asleep, so I'm sitting there watching that movie with her mom. It was awkward as fuck.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie shook me. I think I've only seen it twice, you know?
That's one of those films like hold on, trying to think of the film here that's really like kind of shocking like that. Oh yeah, it's Gummo. Have you ever seen Gummo?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yes,
That's one
yes.
of the ones like that. Like it's a kind of a one shot deal for me. Great movie for what it is, man, but god
Yeah,
damn, it will ruin your fucking week.
yeah. That's not Larry Clark, right?
No,
Um,
Gummo was what's his name? I'm looking up right now. It was Harmony Korine,
Harmony Korine.
and he did
What are
like
the,
he also did Kids, which is another fucking
he did
crazy ass
kids.
movie.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay. I always think Larry Clark did kids, but he did kids, right? Which
yeah.
is getting finally a release. They're getting a digital release. Somebody picked it up and is doing like a 25 or 30-year anniversary
Whoa,
release.
that's cool.
My son wanted me to recommend like gritty 90s movies that I loved.
Hmm.
Um, so I threw him like, My Own Private Idaho, River's Edge, which I think is actually 80s. Things in that vein. And
Hmm.
I threw kids to him, and he had the hardest time being able to find a copy of it. And we ended up tracking down a used DVD on eBay.
Yeah,
So I ordered him the DVD and sent it to him. And
that's cool.
he's 23, and he watched that and he's like, okay, this is a great movie, but I understand why no one has released it in today's environment.
Right.
He's like, that is a fucked up movie, Dad.
And that was directed by Larry Clark. So you're right on that. It was written by Harmony Korine, but
Got it.
Larry
So it's
Clark
both of
directed
them.
it. Yeah, both of them were on that one. So,
Got it.
but yeah, dude, that's a rough movie. And a lot of those kids that were in that movie are just regular like kids. They weren't actors. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of them
Yep.
dudes, a lot of them died like shortly after and stuff. Like these are
Yep.
real street kids, most of them. So.
The music on that, the soundtrack, going back to music, that folk implosion song, Natural One.
Oh, Natural One. Yeah, I used to love that song back in the day, man. Yeah. That one brings back the memories.
Who
Yeah,
did
there's
Happiness? That wasn't
Happiness.
Happiness. Isn't Larry Clark? That's the other dude that did.
That was Todd Solden's
Todd
did it.
Solondz. Yeah, Todd
Solange, yeah.
Solondz. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's another one of those dudes from the late '80s, early '90s that just made fucked up movies.
Totally, yeah. And you don't see shit like that nowadays, like the grittiness of those 90s films, like the early 90s, even into like the late 90s. Like, I don't know, that everything was so dark, man. Like the dramas were dark, the thrillers were dark, the horror was like fucking weird, you know?
Yep. It's starting to come back a little.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you watch the festival pieces, there's flavors of it that are coming back. The indies, you know?
Hmm.
And then there are indies like the A24 indies that are the more polished. They hint at that darkness. But there are people are making those movies. They just don't get, I think, the wide support and the release behind them, you know?
Right. I think as of right now, I think Terrifier 2 is kind of setting the standard for like the indie stuff coming out in like movie theaters and everything, which I find pretty fucking cool because Terrifier 2 is absolutely brutal, you know?
Terrifier 2?
Yeah, have you seen any of the Terrifier films?
No,
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. All right. Just be warned, like if you're just get ready for a ton of fucking brutality and gore and everything. Like, you know, I mean, like super gory shit. It's really well done and stuff. And there's two films right now, Terrifier and Terrifier 2. And one of them hit the movie theaters over, I think it was this year or last year. Anyways, they made like 10, $20 million in the theaters, and this is a fucking true indie movie. You know what I mean?
right.
Like it's fucking opened up a path to a lot of like other indie directors and other indie horror movies, and really get out there and throw your shit out there.
Gore porn.
Uh, to an extent, but there's actually a decent story on both of these. But there is
Good.
some hardcore gore in there and stuff. But there's a story in there, and the aesthetics of it's really cool too. It has like that gritty fucking 80s look to it, almost like like the old dark 80s films. It almost has like a Maniac look to it as well. It's
Rad.
really, it looks like you shouldn't be watching this, man. It looks like it should be like X-rated or some shit. It made it to the fucking, it was like, it made it like a big screen TV too. Like there was all these like talk shows talking about Terrifier 2. I'm like, this is fucking cool, dude. And he did all that from like a Kickstarter. He started off on Kickstarter for the second film. I mean, they
There's
made
a
their money
market
back and
for
more.
it.
There is, yeah.
They're in the studios and the execs, they realize that, I mean, it's one of the key, horror is one of the key pillars of the entertainment industry. It brings, for them, thinking purely on a business side, it brings the same revenue contribution that your sci-fi, action, and comedy bring. And I would think that they're probably paying, if not equal more attention to horror these days. The studios.
Mm-hmm.
Studios don't make dramas anymore, really. They really don't, unless they're doing like a massive Christopher Nolan or a Spielberg production. But even those can kind of fall into another category.
Right.
But horror, like a Quiet Place, you
Mm-hmm.
know, which I actually enjoyed.
The first one I
You know?
did enjoy. Yeah, I thought the first one was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you see the second one?
I did. Like I said, it wasn't as good as the first one, but was it enjoyable? Yeah, it was enjoyable to watch. Won't make any top lists or anything like that for myself, but still enjoyable.
But it's fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
You know? And man, those fuckers made money.
Oh yeah.
So the studios are starting to open up to those more. And they don't all have to star Kevin Bacon. But like the Mandy's and what was the one about the AI, not Mandy, the doll. What's the
Oh,
doll?
damn. It just came out too, and that was actually pretty. It surprised me. I actually
The
enjoyed that one.
Megan.
Megan, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like that was a lot of fun.
yeah. I enjoyed it. I was going and
Yeah,
like, man, I'm gonna fucking hate this or whatever, trying to copy
me
Chucky,
too.
but it was nothing like that. It was its own
No,
thing, and I was like, that's cool.
it made me laugh too. It really made me laugh out loud a couple times. And it was pretty graphic.
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, they
Especially
killed
if
the
that's
baby.
like, if that's your gateway into horror. Say you're a little kid and that's one of your first films. Like, all right, that's
Yeah,
some brutal
yeah,
scenes in there for that. Yeah.
yeah. So I think the industry is definitely embracing the horror genre more. It is the American studio version of. It's not like they're doing I Saw the Devil. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, dude, yeah, I love I Saw the Devil. Brutality.
Definitely top five. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
top
so
five
good.
for sure.
Yeah.
And when they try to bring in, like when they redid Old Boy, I've never seen it, but I heard it does not succeed.
It doesn't. It doesn't have an edge to it, man. And especially since you've seen their. I don't like how they do these. Would take these original films, these overseas films, and they Americanize it or whatever, and like, oh, let's make it
Right,
all into English. I'm like, what's the fucking point of that? It doesn't make any sense to me. You're taking away from the original film.
right. Like what they did with The Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that one actually they did a good job. That
Right.
wasn't a horrible movie, but it like you can't compare it to the original Ring.
No.
Korean horror is just it's just another beast altogether, man. Like uh, I saw the devil. I believe is the interview or the audition. The audition.
Yeah, the audition. That's another brutal one, man. That makes a lot of people's like top tens of all time.
It's rough
Yeah, yeah.
and so good.
There's one out
And
right now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. What do you got?
I was saying there's a new Korean film out right now called Project Wolf Hunting. It's on a Screenbox. It's another
Okay.
digital platform there. But dude, it is fucking brutal and goes in a crazy fucking direction you never seen. Like halfway, like first half of the movie's kind of like a crime thing going on, a lot of crime stuff, kind of thriller shit. Then it takes like this weird sci-fi horror turn in the middle. And it's like, whoa, this is a totally different movie, and it's just so fucking good, man. Absolutely
Project
brutal.
Wolf Hunting. All right, I'll check it
Project
out.
Wolf Hunting, yeah. It's got so much blood, dude. I think they used like 50 or 60 gallons of blood for this. It's insane how much blood is in this fucking movie. And it's not digital. I didn't see any digital blood really. Maybe a few shots here or there. It's all like fucking practical fucking blood, man. It is so gory, but it's so entertaining.
All right, the wife and I will watch it.
That one just came out 2022, and then Screenbox got it on there for them to stream and everything. Man, I'm like, it's one of my favorite films so far that I've seen this year.
All of their, I mean, I'm sure they make shit that never comes our way. But the ones that grab a foothold in the West, even their big budget, their version of the studio film, like Train to Busan,
Oh,
you
great
know,
film. Mm-hmm.
they're really, really great filmmakers. I really enjoy their filmmaking.
Yeah,
It makes me want to learn some Korean and try to get in on one of them.
dude, that would be awesome, man. Like, yeah, it'd be cool.
Don't they need a white boy? You know?
Yeah, get in on that, man. You could be on the maybe Train to Busan 3 or some shit because they did a sequel to Train to Busan, which was not very good, but first one
No,
was
but
great.
it was watchable.
It's still
You know?
watchable, yes, yes,
Yeah,
still
yeah,
enjoyable. Yeah, just
yeah.
comparing it to the first film is like that's hard to do.
They should have done Plane to Busan,
Oh, that
Boat to
yeah,
Busan.
and a whole nother perspective. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is what happened
Yeah,
in there. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Kind of
I
like they could do that with Snakes on a Plane.
oh yeah,
Snakes on a Train.
snakes on a boat.
Yeah.
They've had one like that. A chupacabra on a boat before. It was a sci-fi original movie. I think it was called Chupacabra. It was a chupacabra on a fucking cruise ship, dude. Yeah.
So Cruzo Cabra.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And I don't know if you remember some of the sci-fi original films back in the mid 2000s. Their special effects are spotty at best. It was all like digital, you know?
Yeah, yeah. The Sharknadoes.
Oh yeah, I can't get into those, man. I know they're fun for some people, man. I'm just like, yeah, give me Jaws. That's my favorite shark movie is Jaws. Original Jaws is fucking awesome.
So I had breakfast with a friend of mine, an actor, a friend of mine. He was telling me this horror story about a production he was working on. It was just awful. Everything was just sounds like a nightmare. And
Mm.
then a week into filming it, the DP pulls him aside and he's like, "Look, what if we just try to like lean into it and we make this Sharknado, you know?" And my buddy said, "I don't want to make Sharknado. I'm trying to make Jaws." It's funny. Funny you brought the comparison up again.
Yeah.
But
Have you
some
ever?
people want to make Sharknado because there's a market for it. And
Yeah, it
that's fine.
sells. Yeah.
That's fine. I have no problem with that. Just know that that's what you're making.
Yeah, you're not making fucking Jaws, man. That's like
Right.
also the Meg. Have you ever seen the Meg?
Yeah, that's the fish or a dinosaur. It's like a
It's like a
dino fish.
dinosaur shark, the megalodon or whatever it's called. Like
Right.
they unearthed one of those.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't get
Yeah.
into it, man. Like I wanted to. Like, that's a great idea, fucking megalodon, like being unearthed and shit. But I don't know. Like in some scenes it was like 400 feet long, and some other scenes it was like 100 feet long. Like everything was out. It was all out of fucking whack. You know what I mean? It's kind of like watching the
Right.
Godzilla film from like the 90s or whatever, where like Godzilla's small in this one, but he's giant in another fucking scene. You know?
They're doing another one too, aren't they? I just saw
They
a
are.
poster for it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing another Meg, and I think
Yeah.
Jason Statham's in this one. I don't know if he was in the other one too. Can't remember. I think he may have been in another one. I don't know. It was a forgettable film, so.
There's a rumor that one of the Cloverfield films is arriving soon.
Okay. See, I'm kind of down with it. I thought the first Cloverfield was good, man. There's a lot of people
Yeah,
that
I
hate
thought
on that
all-
one, but I liked it.
What was the one with Goodman that was a part of the
Oh.
series too?
Yeah, that was one where he's got like what's her name trapped down in like little basement
Yeah.
area and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're in the bunker. Yeah.
that was really good, man. Especially that ending. Like, okay, he wasn't crazy after all, you know.
Yeah, there's a rumor. I don't know if it's this summer or next, or if they're making it now. I can't even remember what the project was, but somebody said that's Cloverfield.
Yeah, I've heard the same rumors going around that there's another one coming out, so that definitely makes
Yeah.
sense. It's about that time for another film to be coming out.
Unless I'm so in a hole and it already has come out and everybody already knows. Yeah, no, that was last week.
You know, they did a third one, but it wasn't technically a Cloverfield film until like the very end when the film was done. It was like, all right, we're gonna put this in the Cloverfield universe. Right. Yeah, I know it took place on like a spaceship or something, and that one wasn't very good.
When did that come out?
A few years ago now.
Okay, so this is something different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is different. This is a newer one.
I'm a big fan of like otherworldly giant fucking like cosmic beast and all that shit. You know that like the mist was when we fuck around with a different dimension and it comes into our dimension. All that kind of shit's kind of creepy to me.
I'm trying to think of a film that fits that, and I'm getting stuck on Interstellar, and there's no monster there.
No, but a great film though.
Good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets stuck in between like dimensions. That's pretty fucking scary too. You're just trapped there forever.
And oh God, what's the name? The Jodie Foster.
Arrival, was it Arrival?
Yeah, Arrival. Yeah.
I like that shit. It reminds me a lot of like some of the like with the Mist and these other films we mentioned here, like Cloverfield. All it reminds me of like some Lovecraft stuff, man, with those giant, unexplainable fucking beasts, man. That's the creepy shit to me.
And they're fun to make too. That's what I like. Some people say, a lot of people say that cinema is the highest art form. And when I hear them say that, to me, I think of the collaborative effort that goes into a film. You have many different creative crafts that are all working together. So you have your photographer with your cinematography and your camera crews.
Mm-hmm.
You have your designing with the production design. You have your costumes and fashion with your wardrobe department. Editing is a completely different craft that only exists in filmmaking. You got actors, musicians, and everybody's working together.
Mm-hmm.
So you have practically every form of art creating one product, one piece,
Right.
And like, what is art? What's the purpose of art but to emotionally affect our audience? Like when you go out and you play, you want to trigger an emotion for the people that are listening to your music.
Mm-hmm.
You want to excite them and change their physiological status. You want to increase their heart rate. You like to get them sweating. Get them
Right.
get them angry. Get them change them. So with comedy, I think comedy is a great art form because laughter is a huge, like, you're greatly affecting your audience if you can get them to laugh.
Yeah, definitely.
You're moving their bodies. You're changing their emotional state. Drama, get them to cry. You're actually triggering tears.
Mm-hmm.
But horror, like if you can scare your audience,
Mm-hmm.
like that is a massive effect that you're having on people through your art. And when you succeed, it's so rad.
That kind of reminds me too, like your role in Devil's Candy. I think that movie there was like the best mix of fucking like metal and horror, because you had that awesome soundtrack. I think Sun was involved in that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
love that fucking movie.
Yeah. Sean Byrne, he's great. I hope he's working on another movie. The director of that. He did oh God, mind fart again. The one about prom.
I'm looking
Let me
it up
Google
now.
this again. Let's see, Sean Byrne.
Oh, The Loved Ones? No,
Yes,
that was
The
one.
Loved Ones.
Yeah, he did The
Yes.
Loved Ones. Yeah, that's a great movie too.
Yeah. He always takes like 7 years to make another movie, so he's due.
Well, That's
Um,
good though, man. If he's taking that long and coming up with these badass fucking films, it's worth it, you know.
yeah, yeah. He's due to have another one out. So any day now, we should get a new Sean Byrne movie.
That'd be awesome,
Um,
man.
there's one project that uh, I managed to catch that I love. The script is fucking amazing, and we were gonna start in a couple weeks.
Hmm.
Um, another horror psychological thriller, but the strike has put a pause on things.
That's right. Yeah, the writer's strike.
Writers, and we may strike too.
Yeah,
Um, so the fear of the actors' strike has shut it down for further notice. Um, so this business, as great and lovely and fulfilling as it is, and how much I
Mhm.
love it, you got to get used to tightening your belt. You know,
Right,
my
right.
my belt has a lot of notches in it. I have worn this belt in times of feast and times of famine.
And you've been doing this for how long now total? Like been acting?
35, somewhere around there, 35 years, something like
Wow,
that.
long time.
Yeah, yeah. But they still won't let me retire until I'm 65. Fuckers.
Yeah, I don't know if I will be able to retire when I, get around that age. Like the way shit goes, hopefully I will be able to, but we'll see, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they better set something up for us because we've been paying for it.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish it was a younger age to retire. Like, let's say 50s, man, where you're like still super ready to go and stuff. Like I'm sure like we'll probably both be good in our 60s. I mean, I think we'll be fine. But some people aren't in the greatest of shape and stuff, and they get that age, they can't really do too much. You know what I mean?
Did you see what France did?
Oh
When,
yeah, with the protest. Yeah,
yeah, all
yeah,
he did was add 2 years to the retirement. And they're like, we're not working.
yeah.
We're done. We are going to shut the country down. We can take a lot, man. We could get a lot done if we would all general strike together over set issues.
Right. Well,
The
hopefully
problem
something
is
gets done.
we'd all have to do it,
Right.
you know? We could
How was the
all say,
progress? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, we could all say we're not going to work tomorrow. And it would work, but
Mm-hmm.
we'd all have to do it.
Exactly. And we never fucking agree on anything. You got people arguing about every
Exactly.
fucking thing. Like we can't just come together. If we all came together, you imagine the power we would have.
Yep.
God,
Which is
like
why they want to keep us separate.
exactly. Yeah. I've been saying that for a long time, man. Like, yeah, we all keep you separate, keep you dumb,
Yep.
don't want you to join up and be all powerful and stuff like that. No, we don't want
Exactly. Exactly.
that. Hopefully this writer strike and all pans out and everything. I got a lot of friends on strike right now, the writer strike and everything, like Mick Garris and all of them, and like everybody's trying to
Yeah.
fight this.
It uh it with the film industry, it's a big industry, and most of most of the people that it employs are working class, middle
Hmm.
class, working class, laborers and small business owners. And um that's the vast majority of people that are hurt right now are middle class and small business owners, and there's a lot of them. Um, and it's been tough on them already because we were shut down for 2 years over the pandemic,
Hmm.
and we really only had 1 year of a return to normalcy or a new normalcy. So people were just starting to get their feet back on the ground. And the strike happened 3 weeks ago or a month ago or whenever it was. But
Hmm.
because of the fear of it, everything's been shut down since November.
Wow.
There has been no new movies, no new TV shows. Right now, I think there's 6 movies that are in production across all of the United States.
Wow.
And, you know, we're talking a minimum of 100,000 people whose income is generated solely on the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So people are hurt. So I really hope they stop being so greedy and share a little bit of their obscene wealth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. Because that's rough stuff. And people say,
It's
"Oh,
all
well,
boils down. Go ahead.
oh, you go ahead. You sound you had a better point. What I was
No,
about
after
to make.
you. Go ahead.
I was saying, yeah, most people that see this like, oh, my favorite TV show's not coming back, but they don't understand all the things that go into that, all the people that are affected that make this TV show. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot
Yes.
behind the scenes.
Yes. Each show, at a minimum, employs 150 hourly wage workers. And then you have all of the small businesses that are independently contracted, like catering companies, or as simple as the cleaning company for the wardrobe, the rental houses. You're renting your lights, you're renting your cameras, you're renting your trucks, you're renting your trailers. So all of those businesses who themselves employ dozens of people, all of them are shut down. And it all boils down to them refusing to share royalties.
Mm-hmm.
It's refusing to share royalties and refusing to say that they won't let AI create the next generation of movies and television.
And that's insanity with the AI stuff, man. Like, AI is about to fucking, really go crazy. I mean, you look at look at Terminator. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen in our lifetime, but it's probably going to happen sooner or
It's
later.
possible.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
They did. There was the aerospace conference. I have a link of it somewhere. My son sent it to me. But there was a big conference for the aerospace industry. And one of the things at the conference was talking about AI-generated weapon systems.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about this a system that they designed a drone system to take out surface-to-air missiles. So they programmed, and this is all in a simulation, but this is what happened in the simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Programmed the AI drone to take out surface-to-air missiles. The actual fire, the go or no-go, the final no-go is to be given by the human operator. So they train the AI, find the surface-to-air missile, and then kill it when we say kill it. And they got points for each surface-to-air system that they destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
The AI system, the AI drone realized the only thing stopping it from killing the surface-to-air missile was the operator. So if they kill the operator, they'll get more points. So they killed the operator. So they said, whoa, hold on. If you kill the operator, you lose points. You can't kill the operator. You can only kill the surface-to-air missile when we say you can kill it.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent it back out, and the drone immediately went and killed the control tower because the message to not kill the surface-to-air missile was coming from the control tower.
Mm.
So it's not killing the operator.
Right. Yeah, it's killing the fucking the communications between the operator and that. So yeah.
Yes. So that
smart.
we can't tell it to not kill. Yeah.
Very smart. Fuck.
Yep. Total Skynet shit.
Yeah.
Total fucking Skynet.
I mean, fucking life imitates art. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
look at Star Trek and all the stuff they had on Star Trek were like little your telecommunicator thingies or whatever. Now we have cell phones, basically the same fucking thing. I mean, the stuff Jules Verne came up with, we pretty much have all that now for the most part. You know?
It's insane, and it's gonna move so fast.
Yeah, and it's already starting to like really pick up speed because now there's AI art out there where you can just like throw these little prompts in, like whatever you want to see. Oh,
Oh
AI
yeah,
makes it. You know, that's
Mid-Journey.
fucking
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, Mid Journey and all that stuff.
yeah,
I even been
yeah.
fucking around with that just for fun, but just seeing
It's
what it can
fun.
do, I'm like, wow, this is fun, but very scary because it's like it's taken
Because
away
it's
from
in
other
its
people's art.
infancy.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah,
So where
it's
is it
just a
gonna go?
baby. It's learning right
Yep,
now. Every time all those prompts we put in, it's fucking learning.
that's right.
We're just like, oh,
Learning
we're having
faster than
fun.
us.
Yeah, way faster.
Yeah, yeah.
So the day of the Terminator could come, man. That would be fucking wild.
We
Imagine.
might see it. We may live to see it.
I think so. I think we're gonna see something when we get older, like not necessarily a Terminator, but we will see like fucking possibly like robotic soldiers and stuff at like a lower level than what a Terminator was, but still something closely resembles, something like that. I think we'll see it.
Things are gonna change, that's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
It's like I think it's a Beck song that says that things are gonna change. I can feel it. I can't remember which
Yep.
song that is. Yeah, like that. Definitely, he's true on that, man. Yeah. So what?
Well, I gotta run and meet up with my family. We're gonna go. I leave town tomorrow, back to Atlanta. So
Cool.
we're gonna go run around and destroy this city for a last day before I scoot.
Oh yeah, man, that'd be cool. I appreciate you taking this time to do the podcast with you, man.
Of course,
It's
dude.
awesome.
It was really nice to meet you, man.
And I send you some links to my band and stuff through like email or Twitter. So if you want to check that stuff out too, you might like it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Send it. I get so much fucking junk mail. So, but I am addicted to Twitter. So drop.
Twitter it then.
Yeah, drop it on that DM.
Will do, dude. And yeah, I hope you have a fucking great rest of your time with your family, man. And we can talk again soon.
Absolutely, man. Very nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you, Ethan. You take care.
All right, man. Play safe amongst the robots. Don't let them get you.
Will do. You as well.
All right, dude.
All right.
See you.
Bye. Yeah.